LFR is a joke. It is a complete and utter joke, and it is way, way too easy. Or is it? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. This is Force, and today I'm here to talk with you about, yes, the World of Warcraft, specifically the looking for raid functionality, which just came to the newly implemented High Mall raid here in Warlords of Draenor. Lots of complaints going around of people saying this is incredibly too easy, even from, quote, casual players who are like, there's not even a remote challenge here. This is completely ridiculous. And after having gone through LFR, I would agree, yes, it is incredibly easy. There's almost no need to pay attention. It is really one of the most face roll parts of WoW that I've ever been a part of, because you're in such a large group and it seems like no one's taking any damage and the mechanics are barely there. It's honest to goodness easier than heroics are, and it might even be easier than normal level 100 dungeons were when I first went into them. I'm not even kidding. So just to clarify, LFR at the moment contains the first 3 bosses in a High Mall. It's not even the entire raid. The first 3 bosses, when going through normal, if you do something like using Group Finder, which is what I've been doing for the past week and a half now, the first 3 bosses can take an hour to 2 hours, you know, really depending on your group. If you've got a good group, it'll be closer to, 30 to 60 minutes. If you've got a bad group and you're having to replace people after every boss, it could take closer to 2 hours, unfortunately. But in LFR, it took me yesterday a grand total of 15 minutes to clear the first 3 bosses, and as the tank, I barely had to pay attention to the mechanics. It is crazy. But with all of that said, I think it might be just okay, because this is tourist mode. This is baby's first raid. This is, hey, what's going on with this story? I need to check out this content, but I don't have the time to dedicate to put a group together, to be in a raiding guild, to get on Ventrilo and coordinate through all of these different fights. Or there are people out there who just don't want to do it. There's also a little extra factor that I think is coming into play at this very moment with LFR, and that's the fact that a lot of the actual hardcore raiders are going in LFR this week to get rid of some of their, 636 Warforged pieces that they're sitting on from heroics. Even though it's been out for a couple of weeks now, not everyone's fully geared with raid gear. There's still a few slots missing. And so we're seeing some actual hardcore serious raiders jump into the LFR pool this week. And they're there and they know all of the fights, and even if they only make up a small percentage of the group, they can probably help carry things along. Now, I'm not arguing that once these people leave LFR, they pick up those small little upgrades that they needed, and then they're just fully going in normal heroic and working their way up to mythic raiding. Once they are removed from the LFR pool, it's still probably going to be easy, but maybe it just won't be quite as easy. And again, even if it is still incredibly easy going forward, it's LFR, and I think that's probably okay. And the funny thing is, this expansion is my first experience with the LFR functionality. I didn't do anything in Mist of Pandaria, and so when I went in at first, I was like, wow, this is kind of like, this is crazy. We don't have to pay attention to any of the boss mechanics, and I did it yesterday after spending the first 6 hours clearing normal up until the last boss. I did everything up until the very last boss, and I'm going to work on him in the future, and I've done 2 bosses now in heroic. The difference in difficulty between LFR and even just normal, forget heroic, but even just normal, the difference in difficulty is tremendous. Normal mode requires coordination. It requires communication. It requires everyone to actually know what they're doing and execute, because just 1 or 2 people messing up can cause you to wipe on the Butcher if you run out of DPS and you hit that 6-minute enrage timer. It can cause you to wipe on Tectus if people aren't paying attention to moving out of the red smoke, or they're getting hit by the giant earth pillars that are coming up out of the ground. Even just normal is really a pretty big challenge. It does require coordination. LFR does not, but I think that might be okay. And I'd like to know your opinions in the comment section below. What do you think about the looking for raid difficulty here for the first section of High Mall? Do you think it's too easy? Do you think it should be a little harder? Or do you think it's okay where it is, being the tourist mode of World of Warcraft raiding? Let me know in the comment section below, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more gameplay coverage coming up right here on the channel. I'll see you tomorrow. Keep watching and keep owning.